welcome, guys. Welcome, 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 welcome. Today, I'm going to be on a very important topic. So, I want you to go ahead. If you know of anybody who has high blood pressure, diabetes, if you know of anybody with epileptic seizure, if you know of anybody with um, GERD, if you know of anybody with any chronic ailment, I want you to just send them the message now. Tell them that we're on. Today I'm going to be talking about some particular topic, what I call a miracle molecule. A lot of people who um, are sick because of a deficiency in this particular miracle molecule. So I want you to send out the link. Again, if you know of anybody who is sick, you want to get them on the live today. Today we're going to be touching a topic that is going to be phenomenal. If you're joining us on Facebook, tell us where you are joining us from. All right, where you're joining us from. Let me know where you're joining us from if you're joining us on Facebook. Today we're going to be talking about a topic that is going to be very informative, and it is going to change your life. Today we're going to be talking about we're going to be taking a deep dive into the powerful molecule that supports your heart, your brain, your entire vascular system, and this miracle molecule is called nitric oxide. For the whole week coming, I'm going to be talking about this particular next couple of days. I'm going to be focusing on this particular miracle molecule. Why? Because I've seen a lot of persons come to us. If you know of anybody with poor circulation, if you know of anybody with varicose vein, they need to be on the live today. Why? Because I'm not just going to be sharing information, I'm going to be sharing with you therapeutically. So we're going to be going into some activity. I'm going to share with you therapeutically what you can do. I'm going to be showing you how you ought to do it. I'm going to be sharing with you the top herbs, the top foods. And I'm going to put you on a regimen for the next 30 days. If you know anybody with erectile dysfunction, if you know of anybody with, as I said, poor circulation, varicose veins, high blood pressure, diabetes, if you know of anybody with this particular ailment, I'm giving you the time to send the link to them. So we're going to be talking about persons who have epileptic seizure. This one condition that we're going to be talking about is going to help people with all of these ailments. Can you imagine that? I'm going to be talking about how to lower blood pressure naturally. I'm going to be talking about how to lower blood pressure naturally. If you know of anybody with decreased energy, with tiredness, with sluggardness, then you need to send this live to them. I'm going to be sharing with you how you are going to help those persons as well. All right? So we're going to be talking about this miracle molecule called nitric oxide. And nitric oxide is a powerful molecule that every single person needs. Now, a lot of people, over last week, we see a lot of persons over the last couple of days, and I mean, we've been seeing a lot of persons come to us with poor circulation. We've been seeing a lot of persons come to us with varicose veins. We've been seeing a lot of persons come with numbness in different parts of their bodies. All right, so if you know of anybody like that, then you want to send them the link. I'm going to give you the time to send the link out to those persons. We want to get as many persons on as is possible. All right, and if you are joining us on our YouTube page, then I want you to just give me a name where you're joining us from. Also, if you're joining us on our TikTok page, let me know where you are joining us from. All right? Because this is, so many persons have these conditions, and so many persons suffer from these conditions, A lot of times persons come to us when the ailment is chronic. You know, one thing I found out also is that a lot of persons who come to us, and they don't know it, and maybe you don't know it. A lot of persons who come to us because they want to feel better. And a lot of persons don't make the distinction between feeling better and being better or becoming better. And so I want to share with you today not just what you need to know to feel better. I want you to become better. I want you to get better. So that is the reason why we do these presentations. And I do these presentations also because the greatest weapon against sickness and disease is education, not medication. Most of the persons who call us, most time people call us, they don't call us for about medication. They want to know what medication to take. But what they really call us for is information. All right. So a lot of you who are not feeling well, who are sick, if you know of somebody who is sick, I'm giving you the chance to send this link out to somebody. If you know of anybody with erectile dysfunction, if you know of anybody with high blood pressure, diabetes, and if you know of anybody who's having who's had a blood clot, if you know of anybody who had a stroke, I want you to share this video with them. We're going to be going today. We're going to be delving very deep into a topic that is about this powerful molecule that is at the root of most of the sicknesses that persons have. All right, so let's just go into that. So today we're going to be talking about what I call the molecule of your heart, which is nitric oxide. So today I'm going to be talking about nitric oxide, the molecule of your health. Now joining you, Doc. Wonderful bushpot herbs on TikTok. Thank you. All right, send this out to somebody. Bushpot herbs, send this out because you know, I live a very, very busy life, and sometimes I can't do what I'm about to do on a telephone call with one person. All right. So what I'm about to do today, I can't do this on a telephone call with one person. I can't talk long with one person. And so what I do, Quincy, what I do is I use opportunities like these and platforms like these because it allows me to reach many persons at the same time. All right. And so, somebody's calling me. So I'm going to talk about nitric oxide, the molecule of your heart. I'm going to be talking about the diseases that it influences, that it affects. I'm going to be talking about the type of food that you need to eat. I'm going to be sharing with you a therapy, an activity that you can use to improve this very important molecule in your body, as well as some herbs that you can use to help you benefit from nitric oxide. So the big question is, what exactly is nitric oxide? So nitric oxide is a gas that the body produces naturally. Now, if you notice, people within a particular age group don't have issues with high blood pressure. You've got to ask these questions. People with a particular age group naturally don't have high blood pressure. Also, they don't have a host of diseases. If you notice, people start to get really sick at a particular age in their life. So you've got to ask yourself the question, why is it that people start to really get sick the older they get? Right? You've got to ask yourself that question. Just like I said to persons, girls or females within a certain age don't have uterine fibroids. There's a reason for that. There's a reason why females at a certain age don't have fibroids. That is important because we have to ask that question because we need to get to the root of the problem. We have to get to the root of the problem. I want to help you to get to the root of the problem, And a lot of you are told things to do by your doctor, but your doctor don't tell you why. And so even though what they're telling you to do will help, because most people want to feel better and not want to get better, they usually stop what they are doing the minute they start to feel better. Are you with me? Right? So most people, and they don't know this, most people think that they want to get better, but most people only want to feel better. And most people don't make a distinction between feeling better and getting better. So today I'm going to make that link, I'm going to make that correlation, I'm going to show you why it's important and how, why it's important that doctors tell you to do certain things. And I'm going to tell you why and how it helps. So first of all, nitric oxide is a gas that the body produces naturally, right? And the older we get, is the lesser our body produces this particular molecule. Now, one of the important functions of this molecule is that it acts as a signaling molecule, right? It acts as a signaling molecule, and it is found in what we call the endothelial cells of the body. So the blood has a number of cells, and the cells that are at the outer portion, the outer walls of the blood vessels, are called endothelial cells. And this is where the nitric oxide production is produced a lot. Now, there's a gentleman by the name of Luis Ignario, and in 1998, he, quote unquote, discovered nitric oxide. Now, Dr. Ignario went on, I think he was further, he was contracted by a number of nutraceutical companies, and he was able to produce a number of compounds that artificially are artificial versions of nitric oxide. And he basically made these supplements for a number of companies. And I'm not going to call the name of the company. If you want to know, you can reach out to me privately and I can tell you. But they have produced substances like nitric oxide based substances that has helped to dramatically decrease the issues that persons have with high blood pressure. My mother-in-law was one of them who I gave this product to, and her health tremendously improved by taking this product. And so nitric oxide has also helped a lot of men with erectile dysfunction. A lot of the men who have problems with erection, at the root of the problem is the fact that your body is no longer producing enough nitric oxide. I'm going to tell you in today's presentation, I'm going to tell you what are the natural foods that you can eat to get nitric oxide production. Also, because it is something produced by the body, I'm going to share with you some activities, some therapies that allow the body to increase its production of nitric oxide. So without even taking any supplement, I'm going to show you how to increase nitric oxide production in the body. And then if you want to add foods and add herbs to increase nitric oxide production, how you can now begin to reverse. Yes, I said reverse. How you can now begin to reverse your cardiovascular health issues or issues linked to your cardiovascular health. So what are some of the issues? So we're talking about high blood pressure. It can be reversed. We're talking about ailments linked to chronic inflammation in the body, because a lot of the inflammation in the body is linked to nitric oxide production being decreased. All right? So we're going to talk about that. But Dr. Ignario, discovery of nitric oxide revolutionized the industry. Nitric oxide is a molecule your body creates to relax blood vessels. So one of the things that nitric oxide does is that it relaxes the blood vessels, it improves blood flow, and it regulates blood pressure. So remember I said that when you're at a certain age, children within the age group of 10 and 12 and 13 and 14, they don't need to take something to regulate your pressure, because at that age, your body is producing what naturally regulates your blood pressure. So this molecule that I'm telling you about, it naturally regulates your blood pressure. Children within a certain age group, or people in a certain age group, don't have varicose veins. Varicose veins come with age. High blood pressure comes with age. Diabetes mostly comes with age. Now, not to say that there aren't exceptions, because I don't want anybody to say that there are exceptions. Yes, there are exceptions to every norm, but normally, high blood pressure comes with age, and most of the chronic ailments come with age. And so if when we were young, we weren't having these issues, then the question is, because we need to understand the pathology, we need to understand how disease function, how disease are formed, and how disease work. If we understand the problem, then we will know how to manipulate it. We will know how to go around it. So at the root of all the problems is, first of all, understanding it. And then once you understand it, you now know how to function and how to take advantage of it. So nitric oxide is one of the serious substances that help cardiovascular health. So as I said, nitric oxide helps with improved blood flow. So some of the persons who are having problems with blood flow, it is because they don't have enough nitric oxide. So gentlemen, if you're not having erection, sometimes what is at the root of it is that you're not producing enough nitric oxide to allow the blood to flow to that part of the body that you need it to flow. If you're having high blood pressure, it means that the natural system that is supposed to regulate your blood pressure is not working. So your blood pressure is increasing because it is not being regulated, or it is decreasing because it is not being regulated. And let me say also that I don't know if you've ever noticed when you go to your doctor, because high blood pressure is so wide. It's a wide topic. Have you ever noticed that when you go to the doctor, you get a number, you sometimes get 3 or 4 different blood pressure medication? Now, those blood pressure medication, and you're saying, how the doctor give me so much medication? Because I want to explain to you, I want to tell you the things that the doctors don't tell you. So when the doctor sees you and makes an assessment of you, what the doctor is trying to determine is what is causing your blood pressure, because there are different factors that can contribute to why you're having high blood pressure. Now, depending on the factor that is causing that is going to determine the type of blood pressure medication that you are going to get. So there are some persons who the reason why they take the blood pressure medication that they take is to slow down their heart. Because what happens is that some person's blood pressure is caused by an elevated heart rate. That is the reason why I said the persons, that's important. It is important, and I should say, if you're a herbalist or if you're a natural medicine practitioner, what I'm going to say to you is very important, Because this is the reason why medical doctors will most of the time advise against taking any type of herb. Because most times let us say you're sick. Let us say you have high blood pressure. Most of the time when you have high blood pressure and you tell somebody that you have high blood pressure, now, one of the ways to know if they know what they are doing, one of the ways to know if they know what they're doing, is they won't respond to you based on the symptom that you're having. So high blood pressure is a symptom, not a root cause. High blood pressure is a symptom of something that is not working. All right? So you can't attack high blood pressure on the basis of its symptomatic cause, the fact that your high blood pressure is high, because it is a symptom of something else. So it is a symptom that may have many causes. So one cause may be increased heart rate. So the doctor may say, oh, you need to get a medication for your increased heart rate. So the doctor gives you a drug that slows the rate of your heart. And I'm not going to get into it because when I started to talk about how the doctor determines which medication to give, we're not talking about the side effects yet. So you go to the doctor says that I've looked at your blood works, I've looked at your tests, and you need to take this. What is this? So this medication slows down the rate of your heart. But wait, the doctor also realizes that in addition to your heart rate being high, you also have low potassium. So the doctor gives you another medication for the low magnesium that your body has. The doctor also realized that your cholesterol is high. So the doctor gives you a medication for high cholesterol, because these are all. The doctor also realizes that your blood is thick. So the doctor gives you a medication for that as well. That's about 4 medications so far. The doctor also realizes that your blood vessels are not dilating as it should. It's not dilating and contracting as it should. So the doctor gives you another medication for that. So what I'm saying is that there are many reasons why persons have high blood pressure. And so sometimes just taking a herb, so I'm going to tell you why this is dangerous. So let us say somebody has high blood pressure. And this person, one of the medications that their doctor gave them was a blood thinner, because the doctor realized that their blood was thick. So they're taking a blood thinner. And they come to you, the herbalist, and they say, well, you know, I'm having high blood pressure and I'm having poor circulation. And that herbalist or that practitioner says, well, I'm going to give you something to help thin your blood. I'm going to give you some guinea hen. Or I'm going to give you some ginger. I'm going to give you some cayenne pepper. I'm going to give you some herb that's a blood thinner. And you start to realize now that the pressure starts to go up, because the person is already taking a blood thinner. And now they're taking a natural blood thinner. So their blood is very thin. So their pressure is going up. Now, you saw somebody who took guinea hen, or who took cayenne pepper, or who took blood pressure, ginger, but they weren't taking any other blood thinner, and they got help. They benefited from that. And that is the reason why it's not wise for you to self-diagnose. It's important for you to talk to a healthcare provider who is knowledgeable about what they're doing, because sometimes you can do more harm than you can do good. So we're talking about this miracle molecule called nitric oxide that the body produces naturally. So your body produces it, the nitric oxide naturally up to a certain age. Now, once you reach a certain age, your nitric oxide level begins to drop. Once your nitric oxide level begins to drop, one of the things that nitric oxide does is that it prevents the blood from, it keeps the walls of the blood vessels nice and smooth. And so because the blood vessels are nice and smooth, nothing can stick to it. And so once the nitric oxide goes down, then the blood vessels are no longer nice and smooth, but they begin to get sticky and they begin to attract, or they begin to become a haven for the attachment of unwanted negative debris. This buildup will cause, is what we call arterial plaque. Now, a good idea, if you want a very, very vivid idea of what arterial plaque looks like, I want you to go to any fast food restaurant. Go to any fast food restaurant, and I want you to find any fast food restaurant, and I want you to go to the back, if you can, go to the back of the fast food restaurant, where they will have an exhaust fan. And when you go to the back of the restaurant where they have the exhaust fan, what you're going to see is some black, oily substance that's attached to the wall, that's attached to the fan, and that's also running down from the wall. That is what we call plaque. That plaque is from the frying. So all the meat that they fry, all the fat that is fried, that plaque is a waste that is produced, and so it goes up into the vapor of the frying, and it solidifies because when it is hot, it's very viscous, very fluidy. Sorry, but when it cools, it becomes very viscous, which is why some of you persons who are having high cholesterol who eat a lot of cold foods, why you're suffering the way you're suffering. But stay with me, guys, on this presentation. I want you to send this out. Send this video out. Send this live out now. If you know of anybody who has had a stroke, send this video. I'm going to share with them this evening. I'm going to share with them today on the live. I'm going to share with them not only herbs, I'm going to share with them what they can do on their sick bed. So in addition to all the foods that we're going to talk about, in addition to all the herbs that we're going to talk about, I want to share with you what that person can do while they're on the bed after getting a stroke. What they can do to begin the process of recovery and restoring their health. If you know of somebody who has erectile dysfunction, and a lot of persons have erectile dysfunction and are hiding it. A lot of wives, you are suffering because your man has erectile dysfunction. I want you to pay attention. If you know somebody who has erectile dysfunction, I want you to send this video to them, a friend. If you know of somebody who has poor circulation, I want you to send this video to them, because I'm not going to give you information. I'm going to show you. I'm going to show you activity that you can do that will increase your nitric oxide production in the body 15-fold. All right? I'm going to share that with you. And I'm giving persons the time because I feel this morning I get up, because, you know, when I see a lot of persons, we charge up to $12,000. So I charge up to 12,000 Jamaican dollars to see me. As much as 150 US dollars to see me, to share what I'm going to be sharing with you today, absolutely free. And I'm doing this because I believe that health is too important for persons to be not allowed access to the information that I'm sharing because they don't have money. I'm a firm believer in that. I believe that health is too important. And I believe that health should not be accessible to only people who have money. So I sit down and I think about strategies and ways that I can disseminate and share the knowledge that I have to persons who can't afford it. How many persons can find $150 to see me? How many persons can find $10,000 Jamaican, or depending on which are in the area? How many persons can find that, but they are sick? So I think about mediums like these, platforms like these, that allow me to come and to share one time, but it allows me to reach potentially thousands of persons at the same time. So I'm taking my own time, and this is what I'm doing it now. When I do this, and this is why I'm perturbed, when I do something like this, I also, because it's only one of me, and I only have 24 hours in the day, not even 24 hours, because a lot of the time I have to sleep. I don't have the time to talk at length to one person or to talk to persons. So when I find persons, when I do platform, when I do presentation like this, and I give the information for free, I really don't mind not answering a phone call and not explaining to somebody because I've done it already. All right? So I don't mind not answering a phone call or not talking to somebody in depth because I really have other things to do. But I find a way to make myself available, to share and to give the information absolutely free to persons who can. So today I want to talk about nitric oxide. There are many persons who are sick. Again, I say, if you know of somebody who has high blood pressure, please send this video to them. I'm going to be sharing today, not only, I'm not going to give information, I'm going to tell you, I'm going to show you how to improve your nitric oxide production. If you know of somebody who is who has poor circulation, somebody who has high blood pressure, somebody who is diabetic, somebody who is sick, if you know somebody who is sick and they are confused, because a lot of persons, when they are sick, they don't know what to do, they don't know what information to trust, they don't know what information to take, they don't know what to do. That's one thing about being sick. When you're sick and you feel sick and you desperately want to get better, you're like a drowning man clinching to straw. So today I want to share with you just how you can get better by improving your nitric oxide production. So as I said, nitric oxide is a gas that the body produces. I'm just giving personal time, some time to share. I'm going to go into the information now. So nitric oxide is a gas that the body produces. And because the body produces the gas, people who are young, in their 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, don't normally get sick. Normally sickness starts at a certain age. So if you're young, this is also for you. What I'm going to share is not only for old persons, because what I'm going to share with you today is also designed to delay aging. What I'm going to do, there are persons that are accelerating their aging process and accelerating their sickness because when they were young, they didn't know what I'm going to share with you. And so because they didn't know, they made some bad decisions. And those bad decisions have resulted into, as it relates to where they are now. So I'm going to share with you, if you're young and you're watching, I'm going to share with you today some information that if you follow what I'm saying, it's going to delay the aging process for you. And for some of you, if you follow, it can also reverse the aging process. So nitric oxide, as I said, is a gas that the body produces, that what it does is that it naturally causes, it regulates blood pressure. So persons who are normally young don't have problems with blood pressure because the nitric oxide that their body is producing, it regulates the blood flow to the cells, and so because the cells and the organs are getting the right amount of blood, they remain healthy. Most time we get sick when the blood that the amount of blood that the organs need to function normally, that normal supply is reduced. So once the once the normal supply of blood to the kidneys, to the livers, to the lungs, once there is a reduction in that normal supply as well as the cells, then persons start to get sick. All right, and so the nitric oxide also prevents the buildup of plaque, which causes a narrowing of the blood vessels. And because the blood vessels get narrow, sometimes the blood vessels also get thick. So I said to you that the doctor will tell you, for some of you who go to them with high blood pressure, your doctor will tell you that what you need to do is to exercise. But they don't tell you what exercise does. They don't explain to you how exercise works, what exercise does. I'm going to share with you, and I hope I'm not boring you, but I want to explain, because you know what I think I realize is that people tend to be more consistent with what they are doing when they understand why they are doing it. A lot of times, so you go to your doctor and you are sick. You say, doctor, I'm sick. The doctor says, okay, you need to do this. Now, you begin to do it because you want to get better. You really want to get better, but you don't know why. But what happens is that it results, one of my upline is calling me. I'm live, Ian. I'm live. I can't talk to you now. But I know I touched your topic. And I'm talking about nitric oxide, which I know is one of your topics. I'm live on TikTok and YouTube. Yeah, oh yeah, okay, you have it. But hold on, let me talk. I'll call you back afterwards. All right, good. That's one of my good friends, and he knows the benefit of nitric oxide, because this person that I just answered his phone. I talked about Dr. Ignario Lewis. He knows Dr. Ignario Lewis because his company, and he knows him personally, by the way, this Nobel Peace Prize winner, the call that I just took, this guy knows Dr. Ignario personally because of what Dr. Ignario's Dr. you are not boring us, you are keeping us alive. All right, nice to know. So this person who I just took his call, he knows Dr. Ignario Lewis personally, because he's aligned to the company that I told you about who employed Dr. Ignario Lewis. Who is Dr. Ignario Lewis? Dr. Ignario Lewis is a gentleman that got a Nobel Peace Prize for discovering this miracle molecule called nitric oxide. So this mega nutrition company went ahead and they employed him, and he created a synthetic version of nitric oxide, and he helped them to make millions. So this guy who just called me, he knows the benefit of nitric oxide because he has sold it to thousands of men with erectile dysfunction and thousands of persons who have high blood pressure. So he knows what I'm talking about. He saw the live and he just reached out to me. So, I'm telling you, and I've used this product for my mother-in-law who had high blood pressure, and it helped tremendously. It helped her to normalize her blood pressure. So this is, a powerful substance. So as I said, it reduces arterial plaque. One thing that nitric oxide does it also improves oxygen and nutrient delivery to the cells. So those of you who are diabetic, who have ulcers that can't get better, those of you who are diabetic, who have poor circulation, numbness, who have vein problems. One of the problem is because there's not enough nutrients going to the cells and not enough waste coming from the cells. And so because of that, the cells are not being nourished, they're not being fed, and because of that, the cells become sick. And when something is not being nourished, when a pet, use a dog. Ivan says, good afternoon, Dr. Ben. I had no idea you were on. I hope you didn't miss. Good evening, Ivan. So I decided to do this live because this week we have been, over the last month, we have been flooded with persons coming in with a number of ailments. Now, I'm very analytical And so I looked and cross-referenced all the ailments. And I don't want to give persons one medicine for that, one medicine for that, one medicine for that, one medicine for that, one medicine for that. I cross-referenced the ailments, and I've looked at the underlying factor. And the underlying factor is what I'm going to be dealing with today. The underlying factor, and that underlying factor is what I call nitric oxide. So for the whole of this week, I'm going to be looking at this miracle molecule. So for the persons who have reached out to me with erectile dysfunction, it's the same root cause. For those of you who've come to me in St. Thomas and Portland and who have called with poor circulation in your legs, same solution. For those persons who have reached out to me who have high blood pressure, same solution. So there are a multiplicity of persons who have reached out to me. And these persons that have reached out to me, I just want to give you a supplement. And there's a supplement that I'm going to talk about. There's a supplement that I'm going to talk about that's high in nitric oxide. It's high in nitric oxide. I'm going to talk about that. I don't know if I did that to my TikTok view. This product here, it's high in nitric oxide. Let me see if high nitric oxide and resveratrol. We're going to talk about that. I see so many people are calling me and don't realize that I'm live. But I'm going to go into it. So what are some of the signs that you're lacking in nitric oxide? So you may experience fatigue. I spoke about that. I'm on the Rattigan show, and I spoke about fatigue, tiredness, brain fog, just mentally, this mental fog in your brain, because mental fog is a result of reduced oxygen flow to the brain. Sometimes you have lightheadedness or giddiness. And most of the persons who come to see us, we have a machine that we put them on, and when we put them on the machine, we are able to see exactly what is happening. So we look at the, and some persons, by the way, have physical ailments like defective heart valve. So some persons who have a defective heart valve, a valve that is not working well, this may further complicate the issues. But a lot of persons who have numbness, mental fog, that's one of the signs that you are low in nitric oxide. Poor circulation, numbness in your foot, numbness in your toes. If you're having these issues, it's one of the signs that you are low in nitric oxide. Erectile dysfunction. This is one of the factors that may lead to erectile dysfunction. And as I said, that this is a condition that advances with age. So the older you get, is the more likely you are to have a decrease in nitric oxide. But today, I'm going to show you how. I'm going to talk about the foods that you can eat to increase your nitric oxide production. I'm going to talk about the herbs that you can take to increase your nitric oxide production. But more importantly, I'm going to talk about an activity that you can do that will increase your nitric oxide production. So for the person who is sick on their bed, who suffered a stroke, I want you to send this video. I want somebody to hold the camera for them. I'm going to show you this week. We're going to take some time out and we are going to look at, I'm going to share with you an activity. For all that is watching, all of you that are joining me, I'm going to share with you an activity that will improve your nitric oxide production. And I'm going to make some time at the end of the activity, because guess what happens? When you do that activity, the result is instantaneous. The result is instantaneous. I do a lot of work with oxygen. Let me turn my camera. This is a device that I use. One of the devices that we use for persons who come to us. I'm not going to talk about it, but we do ozone therapy for persons who come to us with a number of ailments. Oxygen is a phenomenal therapeutic agent. Oxygen is a phenomenal. Hold on, let me just take this call. Yes, hello?
Yeah, good morning. I live in I'm going to call up on my number.
Yeah, man, I'm doing a live now. I'll call you after.
Yeah, you're doing something now?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So, I mean, I took that call because, as I said, these are some persons who I have shared this information with, and some of them want to just come on and talk about the benefits of this nitric oxide. So, as I said, if you're having fatigue, it's one of the signs that you are low in nitric oxide. If you're having brain fog, it's one of the signs that you're low in nitric oxide. If you're having poor circulation, it's one of the signs that you're low in nitric oxide. If you're having erectile dysfunction, sometimes it's not just you need this herb, you need that herb. You can take all those herbs. I'm going to talk about those herbs. I'm going to talk about those foods, but I'm going to talk about what you can do in addition to all of that to increase your nitric oxide production in an attempt to get back your health. All right? The goal is to help you to get back your health. And for those of you who are not yet sick, it is to help you not to get there. All right, so let's talk about some foods. Some foods that will help to boost your nitric oxide production. So there is beetroot. Beetroot. Beetroot is a natural, is maybe one of the highest natural source of nitric oxide. Powerful source of nitric oxide production is beetroot. And I'm gonna and then when I give you some more information, then you can think about how you can combine some of these foods. So beetroot, dark green leafy vegetables, callaloo, pak choy, kale, broccoli. Those are domestic vegetables. But if we're talking about wild vegetables now, because I love to talk about my indigenous alkaline vegetables. Spinach, Spanish needle, wild hook. Some of you may not even know what I'm talking about. Some of you hearing these vegetables don't even know what I'm talking about. About wild hook and all this. These are some vegetables that you need to know. And these are vegetables, dark green leaf vegetables. They are high in nitric oxide production. Celery, another very powerful herbs that's high in nitric oxide production. But I don't know how many of you know. I'm going to talk about this particular fruit. I think I have some in the fridge, and I shared it. Let me see if there's anybody on that I've shared it with. Now, if you know of anybody who have poor circulation, these are some fruits that they can take and it will help them phenomenally. Watermelon. But guess what? It's not just the watermelon, it's the watermelon skin. So the watermelon skin is high in what is called citrulline. Now, I know of men who we have spoken about this watermelon, as many were reasoning. And we were on a corner, and I was talking about, I think it was a barber mechanic shop, and we were talking about erectile dysfunction. And I told some of the men there that you can get the watermelon and blend it, skin and all. Just wash it, blend it, skin and all, and add some cayenne pepper to it. Drink it for 2 weeks and tell me what your result is. So you get the watermelon, you blend the watermelon, and you add a little cayenne pepper to it and drink it. 2 weeks after, the gentleman saw me in the streets, and he says that he cannot thank me enough. Why did the watermelon help him the way it did? It was because the skin of the watermelon contained a compound called citrulline, which aids the body in the production of nitric oxide. So for some of you who are having poor circulation in your legs, it helped him with his middle leg, but this formula is not only good for the middle leg, it's also good for the other 2 legs. Watermelon blended with the skin and cayenne pepper is not only good for your middle leg, it's also good for the other 2 legs. And so if you're having any condition that is linked to poor circulation, which is reduced blood flow to the organs of the body or the cells of the body, one of the things that you can do is you can get this amazing recipe, and I'm going to give you the details. I'm going to give you an actual recipe as to how this works. Another very powerful, important fruit is a fruit called pomegranate. Pomegranate. Now, some children, because we live in an age now where pomegranate has become so scarce that some children don't even know what is pomegranate. Pomegranate is another miracle. I say bushpot herbs, and this is true. Yeah, if there's anybody else on the live on TikTok who can attest to what I'm saying, you can let me know. So the pomegranate used to be one of the fruits that was highly respected here in Jamaica. It has lost that respect, but the rest of the world is now catching on to the power of pomegranate. So there are countries who have literally built an entire industry on the export of pomegranate because the world now realizes the benefit of pomegranate and cardiovascular health. A number of companies, supplement companies, have catch on to the benefits of pomegranate. This fruit that as children we used to see because it grew on the pomegranate plant that was an edging or fencing in our yard. So we didn't respect it. Well, pomegranate, Nifty says, I had a pomegranate tree in my yard growing up and looked forward to eating them. Yeah, Nifty. So pomegranate juice, you can juice the pomegranate. Pomegranate, man, I don't want, should I get into pomegranate? I get excited when I hear about pomegranate. I had a friend visiting me recently from Israel, from Jerusalem. And I put him on the machine because, by the way, pomegranate is a plant that grows a lot where there is rocky soil. Pomegranate does not like dirt. Pomegranate likes rocky soil, right? And pomegranate grows wild in Jerusalem. Pomegranate grows wild in Jerusalem because people in Jerusalem, a lot of the people in Jerusalem, as I said to you, plants grow abundantly where it is needed. So pomegranate is one of those plants that are essential for cardiovascular or musculoskeletal health. It helps the musculoskeletal system. So I had this friend who visited me from Jerusalem, and I did an assessment, and I was telling him that is his cardiovascular system was weak. So I was telling him about pomegranate. And he said, pomegranate? I said, yeah, pomegranate. I said, why? And he laughed. I knew why he laughed, because where he's from in Jerusalem, pomegranate grows wild. And I took the opportunity to explain to him that when you go in the desert, if you go into Nevada or go in the desert, the plant that you are seeing growing, good day, shalom, my brother, shalom. Christine Gilbert says, rise and shine. If you go into the desert, the Nevada desert, the plant that you are going to see growing the most are cactus. Why would cactus and why would these plants be growing so abundantly in the desert? Because when you're in the desert, the disease that you are more likely to be inflicted by are diseases caused by heat or dehydration. So the plants that grow in that land abundantly, that respond to heat and dehydration, are mucilaginous plants or cactuses, because cactuses have water in them and they also have mucilage in them that help with decreasing inflammation. Now, if you're going to Jerusalem, the plants that grow in those rocky areas are plants that most likely deals with musculoskeletal diseases. If, for example, you go to the Blue Mountains, a lot of the plants that grow wild in the Blue Mountains, big up Bigaton, one of Jamaica's most powerful herbalists. Big up, man. One of the plants that you will see grow abundantly in the Blue Mountains are pines. Why do pines grow abundantly at that elevation and they don't grow abundantly at this low elevation? Because pine is rich not only with antibacterial elements, but pine is very good for respiratory conditions. A lot of the herbs that grow at this altitude are going to be herbs that help with the respiratory system, and also herbs that help with the musculoskeletal system. And what I'm sharing with you is I want you to understand a lot of the herbs that grow, most of the time I go to persons. Most of the time I go to persons when I do a house visit. I usually use the opportunity to look at the herbs in their yard. And I can tell you, most of the ailments that is in the house, the remedies in the yard. That's the point that I wanted to make. So we're looking at nitric oxide. Another compound that is high in nitric oxide is garlic. Garlic is high in nitric oxide. For persons who have suffered stroke, and we're going to talk about some herbs, because there's some herbs, a lot of the herbs that grow in the hills of Jamaica, the high elevation, a lot of the vines that grow in the height of Jamaica, a lot of these vines, because most vines contain a compound called saponin. Saponin, from the word saponin, we get the word soap. And so most of this compound is a very slimy, slippery compound that when you put it in water, it froths. It produces foam because of its saponin content. The saponin is also very important for persons who have suffered a stroke. So that is the reason why a lot of the herbalists who boil tonics, helping you to understand now, a lot of the persons who take tonics from herbalists who live in the hills, one of the reasons why it benefits them with their stroke or their cardiovascular problems is because a lot of the ingredients that they use to make these tonics contain saponin in it. Because these persons, their raw material that grows in abundance for them are raw materials that come from plants that help with musculoskeletal nerve issues. And a lot of these herbs are high in nitric oxide producing compounds, nitric oxide producing elements. I want you to understand, because one thing that I do a lot is, if you know of any medical doctor, right now, you need to send this live to them, because a lot of the medical doctors themselves, they know the chemicals, but they don't know the plant. So the respect that they have for the medicines, because they study pharmacology, they don't have that same level of respect for plants. But one of the things I do is I go into the pharmacology of plants to help them to understand the natural occurring compounds that they know in drugs or that they know in chemicals. Because I want them to have that same level of understanding and respect. Because a lot of times medical doctors don't respect plants because they have not been trained to identify. They have not been trained to understand the pharmacology of plants. They have not been trained to understand the medicinal compounds found in plants. And so, because they don't understand the medicinal compounds found in plants, they can't relate, they can't talk, they can't recommend, they can't promote what they don't know. They have to recommend what they know, even though sometimes they have benefited, they have been recipients of the benefits of herbs. They don't understand how it works, so they can't recommend what they don't know, even though they have benefited from it. So I want to talk to you about this powerful compound called nitric oxide that the body produces. So in addition to these foods that I'm talking about, the beetroot, we talk about the dark green leafy vegetables. We talk about the celery. These are all domestic vegetables, and we talk about the Spanish needle, we talk about the wild hook, we talk about the bush cabbage, we talk about all of these wild herbs that you can get it. So even if you don't have any money, you can go in your yard right now and you can identify, you can get these vegetables and you can take them and you can increase your nitric oxide production. Once your body has enough nitric oxide production, it also delays the aging process, because what is aging? Aging is a condition where more cells are dying than cells are being produced. So if you have more cells dying than you have more cells being produced, then you are aging. But, so when a young person, a person in their 20s, what is happening is that you have more cells being formed than you have cells dying. But as you get older, because the organs are not able to do what they're supposed to do, then the reverse takes place. All right? So I want you to understand that. I don't know what just happened. All right. So, guys, sorry about that. I'm actually streaming live on our TikTok page as well. All right, so let's look at some foods. So we looked at the dark green, the beetroots, we looked at the leafy greens, we looked at the arugula, we looked at the spinach, we looked at the celery, we looked at the fruits, we looked at the watermelon, we looked at the pomegranate, we looked at the garlic. Now let's look at what I call fermented foods. Fermented foods, so for persons who have gut problems, and you've been told by your healthcare provider that you need to take probiotics. It is because these fermented foods like kimchi or sauerkraut or miso, again, I'm going to explain what is that, because some of you may not understand. Sauerkraut, I know of a lot of persons who have stomach issues who may benefit from getting, sauerkraut is made by getting the cabbage, getting a jar. You can go YouTube, YouTube, what is sauerkraut? YouTube, what is kimchi, YouTube, what is miso, because YouTube is not there. I won't take the time to go into that. Miso is spelled M-I-S-O, all right? So, sauerkraut is spelled S-A-U-E-R-K-R-A-U-T. It's a German word, sauerkraut. And kimchi is spelled K-I-M-C-H-I, kimchi. I want you to Google those on by YouTube, because these are fermented foods that help us a lot. A lot of times when we have gut issues, a lot of times it's because of the presence of too much harmful bacteria and not enough helpful bacteria. So some of you are watching right now who you are having bloating. You're welcome, Christine. Just send it live out. I'm done. I'm 1 5 minutes. I'm gonna do maybe another hour or so. Because I'm gonna go into an activity. So I'm talking about the foods. I'm gonna talk about their foods. I'm gonna talk about their herbs. But I'm also gonna share with you an activity. And what I'm gonna tell you is, Bushpot said, Doc, please write and publish a few books. You have great, well, not wisdom and herbs. I must say, you have inspired me. You're welcome, Bushpot Herbs. I'm gonna share with you an activity on the live today. Absolutely free. I'm gonna share with you an activity on the live that will produce instantaneous results. The minute we do it, instantaneous results. So the minute we do it, you are going to experience the difference. And that is when you know that you've struck a powerful medicine. Most powerful medicines, the minute you take it, the minute you experience it, you experience result. So I'm going to share with you an activity that you can do if you know somebody who has had a stroke, especially somebody who has had a stroke. I want you to send this live to them right now. You know somebody who has had a stroke or who has had paralysis. I want you to send the video to them right now, because I'm going to share with you an activity that they're going to do for the next 30 days that is going to improve their health. Now, guys, what I'm sharing with you, there's a lot of people hit me up sometimes and say, Dr. Ben, why you share so much information? Why you go into all of that? I mean, why do you go into that? Some of what I'm going into, believe it or not, when you come for a retreat, when you come and spend time with me, it costs you somewhere in the region of $1,500 US, $2,000 US. So I want you to understand that I know the value of what I'm sharing with you, but I am of the belief that what I can do or what I do with somebody who can find $1,500 should not be hidden from somebody who wants to know but who cannot afford it. I do not believe in that. The scripture says that we should not withhold good from those who we can do it, as long as it is in our power. Now, this is knowledge that I have. This is information that I have. So it is within my power to share it. It's not costing me anything. I'm not losing years off my life. I'm not losing business. I'm not losing anything from sharing what I'm sharing with you. And what I'm sharing with you can determine whether somebody lives or die. How can I withhold that because of money? How can I withhold that because of money? Now, I want you to send this video. I want you to send it to somebody. I want you to send this live to somebody, because I believe that I can stay right here in my office and I can reach somebody who needs to get this. A grandmother, an aunt, a cousin, a friend, a pastor. Because sickness does not, it doesn't have any type of respect for persons. So these are some foods, fermented foods like probiotics. And a simple way to make a probiotic food, by the way, is you can also get a jar, get a clean jar, and so you can boil some water, sterilize it, make sure it's sterilized. And then you can get your vegetable. You can get any vegetable you want. And you can put it in that jar. But I like Scotch bonnet pepper, so I put Scotch bonnet pepper in it, or bird pepper. I use onion, I use garlic. Then you can use Spanish needle, you can use wild hook, you can use whatever dark green vegetable you want, or whatever young plant. Once the plant is young and soft, it's in its vegetative nutritional state. It's a vegetable, so you can use it. So you can get that and you can put it in a jar and you can cover it with vinegar. Or you can cover it with water. Anyone works for you. And you can leave it there for about 2 to 3 weeks. And it stays there and it ferments. And when it ferments, you can now add that as a salad to your meal. And what it does is that because that process of fermentation is a result of bacterial interaction. Helpful bacteria, by the way. And so what you're doing is you're introducing helpful bacteria in your system. So if you're somebody who is always bloated, somebody who is always passing gas, there's a high chance that you have too much harmful bacteria in your system. And this is something that can help you tremendously. So, as I said, another very good recipe is you can get beetroot, you can get ginger, and you can add also any dark green leafy vegetable that you have, and you can blend that. And that is a nitric oxide powerhouse. And you can take a glass of that, and it will increase your nitric oxide level. All right? And then here are some herbs. These are some herbs now that I'm going a little fast because I want to get to the activity. I want to get to the activity because with the activity that I'm going to share with you, the result is instant. And I want to also take some interaction from you. I want you at the end, because I'm so confident that after the activity, I'm going to ask you to share what you are feeling. That's how confident I am of this activity. So, ginkgo biloba. If you can get ginkgo biloba, and by the way, guys, ginkgo biloba is found in Jamaica. Ginkgo biloba grows wild, again, in the hills of the Blue Mountain. I tell a story ever so often about a gentleman and that came to my office. And when he came, he said, Dr. Ben, I have these herbs. Hey, Diane, how you doing? Diane from Facebook. Send the feed out, guys. Send feed out. So this guy came to me and he says that I think I have the video on YouTube. I'm on YouTube channel at ICM TV. Dr. Ben ICM TV. And he came to me and he said, we saw this book. This herb, sorry. We saw this herb. I grow coffee, by the way, and we saw this herb growing wild in our coffee field. And because you talk about herbs growing, and I think he heard me talking on another video about a herb. I went somewhere in Clarendon, and I saw farmers weeding out a herb that valued $22 a pound. I saw farmers weeding out a herb that cost $22 a pound to plant carrot, which is nowhere near $22 a pound. And so he heard me talk about it on that video, a place called Shophill in Clarendon, if you're watching, anybody from Shophill. And so he saw the herb and he brought it to me. And he said, I want to know what this herb is because it's growing wild in our coffee field and I want to get rid of it. But I also saw a white man. He's a doctor. He came and I see him always reaping this herb. But we don't know what the herb is. So I wanted to know what this herb is. When he went into the bag and took out the herb, lo and behold, the herb was the famous ginkgo biloba. Ginkgo biloba. All right, John says he wants, tell me which herb you want me to put the spelling of on the youth and the guys. So John is asking me, Dr. Ben, hi Dr. Ben, please put the spelling of the herbs. Tell me which herb you want me to put the spelling of. And guys, if you're watching on TikTok, you can go over to our YouTube channel at ICM TV and you can see I'm gonna put the herb in the chat. The herbs that I'm talking about. Okay. All right, so one of the herbs is ginkgo biloba. So let me put it here. Ginkgo biloba. Ginkgo biloba. So that's one of them. So it helps to increase nitric oxide production in the brain. So particularly if a person who having brain fog, these herbs helps exceptionally with increasing blood flow to the brain. Those persons who are having lightheadedness, these herbs help. Another herb that helps is what the herb name again, man? Rosemary. I see Kathy. Kathy 164 says, all right, that's it. Ginkgo. It's B-I-L-O-B-A. B-I-L-O-B-A. Biloba. Ginkgo biloba. Not boloba. Biloba. Ginkgo biloba. This is a herb that is extremely good for the brain. And it's high in nitric oxide. Another herb is rosemary. Everybody knows rosemary. And by the way, you know this rosemary? Rosemary does very well at high elevation. I think that's the spelling. R-O-S-E-M-A-R-Y. Rosemary. That's another herb that helps with increasing oxygen production to the brain. Another herb is cayenne, or bird pepper. Cayenne. That's C-A-Y-E-N-N-E. Cayenne pepper. Increase circulation. Increase the production of blood flow. Now, bear with me. All of these herbs that I'm mentioning, by the way, all these herbs that I'm mentioning, if you know of anybody who has erectile dysfunction, all of these herbs help with them. Thank you very much, Kathy. 164. Rosemary. It helps with erectile dysfunction. So a lot of you men who have erectile dysfunction, this herb helps phenomenally. Another herb that helps, as I said, is garlic. All right, garlic. It helps with nitric oxide production. Bird pepper. Thank you. I have a wonderful moderator, man. Thank you, Kathy. Bird pepper or cayenne pepper helps tremendously with nitric oxide production. So, as I said, a lot of these persons that are suffering from poor circulation, clotting, blood clotting, premature aging, erectile dysfunction, diabetes, reduced blood flow to the brain. All of these conditions persons will benefit from with these substances, with these herbs. Now, apart from that, as I said, they help the flow of oxygen to the cells of the body. So we're talking about the heart, because again, most of the time you get sick, it is because the blood flow to these organs are not in the levels that they should be. So we have kidney issues, we have stomach issues, we have muscle issues. All of these issues is really one problem. It's the fact that there is not enough blood going to these areas. You ever notice when somebody has poor circulation in their foot? You ever notice why the foot starts to strip? Do you know why the foot starts to strip? It is because the cells that should be produced, the skin cells that should be produced, are not being produced at the speed at which they should be producing. So what happens is that scales start to build up because the skin cells start to produce slower. So even premature aging, persons will benefit from that. There's a herb, and then there's what we call adaptogenic herbs. So herbs like puran bark. Puran. So that's a herb. P-U-R-O-N. Kathy, P-U-R-O-N, Puran, B-A-R-K, Puran bark. That's another very important herb. There's ashwagandha, ashwagandha. This is an Indian herb. It's a herb that is mostly known in India. Let me type it. So it's, yeah, thank you very much, Kathy. So there's ashwagandha, ashwagandha, ashwagandha. This is another herb that's also very good for increased blood flow to the body. There's this herb. Who sent me this? A herbalist from Montego Bay sent me this herb. It's called roadside pepperweed. I want you to look up this herb. Thank you very much. Look up this herb. Roadside, R-O-D-E-R-O-A-D, road, S-I-D-E, side, roadside pepperweed, P-E-P-P-E-R-W-E-E-D, pepperweed, roadside pepperweed. It's one word. No, this is a herb that grows, and it's grown, it's called roadside pepperweed because it's found a lot on the roadside. So it's roadside, one word, then pepperweed, one word. And it's from the cabbage family, and it's also high in nitric oxide. But I've also recommended this to persons who have erectile dysfunction, and it has worked wonders for them. No, all of these herbs I'm talking about help with erectile dysfunction. We're talking about decreased blood flow to the middle leg. Go to cola. That's another good herb as well. Go to cola. Somebody just wrote that. Go to cola. It's another very good herb. Go to cola. So any herb that helps the middle leg will also help the other two legs. Any herb, it's two words. Any herb that helps the middle leg will also help the other two legs. K-O-L-A. Thank you. Go to cola. So it will help the middle leg. Then there is another herb. This herb, we talk about herb. There's so many herbs that don't come into my mind. There's this other herb. It's grown in Siberia. It's called rhodiola. R-H-O-D-I-O-L-A. Rhodiola. This is another herb that's very good. And then there's busy. Busy as well. Works like that. Busy. That works like that as well. Very powerful herb. These are all powerful herbs that help with the production of nitric oxide. These are herbs that will boost the body's production of nitric oxide, and potentially you don't have to. So here's a recipe for a tea. You may have to go to my Facebook, my YouTube, our Facebook page for this. I'm gonna paste it. Yeah, thank you. So there's a recipe, guys. If you're not on my YouTube channel, that's some of what I'm posting. So I've just posted a recipe for boosting nitric oxide production. It's on our page. I'm gonna give you a lot of information today. I'm sharing a lot of information today because I've been seeing so many persons this week. We have an office in Morat Bay, we have an office in Port Antonio. I'm actually streaming from our Port Antonio office right now. And I also see persons in Florida. So if you're in the Florida area, we do have an office there. If you're in New York, I can't see you from New York. So if you're in New York or near to New York, I can see you from New York. So I practice what is called telemedicine. So there's a device that we use that we put you on to see what's happening with you. So what I've done is I've set up what I call satellite centers in different parts across the world where you will go to see those persons. They will put you on the machine, and I can stay right here in Jamaica and I can tell you what's happening with you. I have a satellite center in Kingston. If you're in Kingston and you would want, so you don't have to tell me. You don't have to tell me what's wrong with you. Just go shut your mouth. You don't have to say a thing. You go to one of our satellite centers in Kingston, and when you go to our satellite center in Kingston, the person will hook you up. He's also a student, so he's some of them training, so he's able to read the machine to some extent. And we can tell you what's wrong with you. If you go to our satellite center we have more than one satellite center in Kingston. We have satellite center in Florida. We have 2 satellite centers in Florida. We have a satellite center in New York. We don't have a satellite center yet in England, but the goal is to set up satellite centers across Jamaica. And what I do through these satellite centers is when you go into these satellite centers, I can see you. How can I get the one in Kingston? Can I have an address or a phone number? All right, Anthony. All right, Anthony, Anne-Marie English. The number for Kingston, let me give you the number for our satellite center in Kingston. Bear with me 1 minute. I'm sorry for the break in transmission, because I really wanna I really wanna share it with you guys. So our satellite center in Kingston, the person name is Michael, and his number is 349-4649. That's 349-4649. You can call Michael and he can tell you how we can connect with you and how we can do a consultation with you. As I said, you don't have to tell us. You don't have to tell us what's wrong with you. As a matter of fact, I encourage persons to go pretending as if nothing is wrong. We don't want to hear what's wrong with you. You just go, and in less than 5 minutes, we can tell you what's wrong with you. Less than 5 minutes. If you're in New York, we have a satellite center over there in Bronx. You can go to that satellite center, and in less than 1 minute, we can tell you what's wrong. If you are in Florida, then you can reach out to me, and I can give you the numbers. I don't want to take the time out to go into that. Just reach out to me, and I will tell you how you can connect with these satellite centers and how we can help you. Good morning, Doc. What about butcher's broom root? Someone tell me about it for circulation problem. Can it yeah, butcher's broom. Oh, Kathy, that was good. So Kathy, it seems as if Kathy got that from our YouTube. Thank you very much, Tati. So 1 teaspoon hawthorn berries, half teaspoon ginger root, our cayenne pepper, and steam for 10 minutes and take it. That's a tea that I want to share with you that helps tremendously with circulation problems. So if you know of somebody who is having circulation issues, oh, you're on YouTube too. Thank you, Kathy. Thank you so very much. So if you that's a tea that you can use. Let me give you another one. About 100 grams of sorrel. Our sorrel. About 50 grams of ginger. Oh, by the way, you want to get the sorrel and powder it. So you get the sorrel and put it in a blender and powder it. Bring it to a powder so you can measure it. Then you're gonna do the same thing with the ginger or the garlic. Garlic, not ginger, garlic. You can get the garlic powder, and then you can add about 20 grams of cayenne pepper. Of cayenne pepper. Now, this is general information, so I want you to talk to your healthcare provider before you do anything I'm saying. Please, because I don't want to fall in the same category that I talk about. Even though all of what I'm saying can help, will help, um, it may not be suitable for your context. Right? Still talk to somebody, talk to your healthcare provider before you do anything. All right. So I'm sending us another recipe. So 100 gram of sorrel, 50 gram of garlic powder, 20 gram of cayenne pepper. That helps tremendously with circulation problems. If you're having high blood pressure, that helps extensively as well. All right. So those are all things that you can do to help. Now I'm going to show you. I'm going to show you a technique that you can employ to help. Because remember I said to you that the body produces nitric oxide. But the nitric oxide production level decreases with age. Now, a lot of persons also who have poor circulation in their foot, their legs, also have anxiety issues. A lot of persons have heart palpitation issues, anxiety issues. And now a lot of persons who come to us with anxiety issues, we can link it to poor nitric oxide production. And when they have this poor nitric oxide production, they'll have anxiety issues where the heart starts to beat fast and they become nervous. You feel like you're running out of breath and you start to panic. You wonder what's happening. And most healthcare providers will tell you that what you need to do is just begin to breathe and it goes away. Why does that work? Why does that work? And some people don't even know about that. But what I want to share with you is a technique to produce nitric oxide naturally within the body. So in addition to what I'm sharing with you, and I'm recommending you to do this for the next 30 days, somebody who is crippled, who can't walk, somebody who is having erectile dysfunction, somebody who is diabetic, somebody, doesn't matter what's happening, I want you to do this for the next 30 days. I want you to come back on the platform and I want you to share. But I want you to share after we do this activity. And I want you to share. Now, we're going to do it 4 times. So what it is that you're going to take a deep breath and you're going to exhale. But when you exhale, you're going to exhale through your nostrils. All right? And you're going to exhale with a sound. And we're going to do that 4 times. And I want you to share with me the experience that you're having. All right? So I'm going to go ahead first. And you can do this in sets. So we're going to do 4 sets of this. All right? So this is designed to increase nitric oxide in the body because I said our body produces it. Sometimes the way we sit, the way we posture ourselves, we don't breathe properly. And let me just give you a side note there. If you're having sleep apnea, what is sleep apnea? Sleep apnea is a situation in which persons who put on a certain amount of weight, and one of the signs that you're not breathing properly is that you're snoring. So for persons who are snoring, this will also benefit them. So you need to tell somebody know who is snoring. So what happens is that sleep apnea is a condition in which there is a cartilage that is blocking the airwaves. And because of that, it impacts on the heart. And so while the person is sleeping, the person is not breathing properly. And this is something that can lead to death. There are persons who have died from this. So because they're snoring, The snoring is an indication that they're not breathing properly during sleep. The fact that they're not breathing properly during sleep means that there is a reduction in the amount of oxygen to the brain. And there are times when persons have to be sent into what is called a sleep, to do a sleep test, where they are actually brought into a physical facility and they are put to sleep in a device, and their sleeping is monitored and measured. Because what happens when a person has this is that because they're snoring or they're not breathing properly, it affects the amount of oxygen to the brain. It also affects the heart. And so persons who have this problem, what happens now is that during the day, they can't carry out daily function. They're falling asleep. As soon as they sit down, they fall asleep. For some persons, when they are driving, they're falling asleep. So this is something that can be potentially dangerous, because it is also one of the causes of many of the accidents. A lot of the persons who are driving suffer from what I'm talking about. So they are driving and they are sleeping. Some of them are even sleeping with their eyes open. It also causes reduction in energy. So these persons tend to have low energy, low sex drive. That also affects their mood. It affects their energy level. So what I'm going to be talking about today, is going to help a lot of persons with a lot of different ailments. This is how important this problem is, nitric oxide. This is how important this issue is. So, Kathy, I'm seeing you pasted. I pasted another formula. Could you paste that formula for everybody to see it, please? There's another formula which includes 100 grams of sorrel, 100 grams of garlic, 20 grams of garlic powder, 20 grams of cayenne pepper. And that also is another recipe that helps with nitric oxide production and helps with lowering blood pressure. So let me go into the activity, and it goes like this. So you take a deep breath, hold, and then you exhale. But when you exhale with a sound. Through the mouth. Again, inhale, and then you're going to break. So you take a deep breath, hold, then exhale. Hold, then inhale. All right, so I want everybody that's on the live to do that with me. And I want you to share how you feel. And I will know if you're lying or if you're just giving me a response. All right, so we're going to do 4 sets of that. Are you ready? All right, number 1. Hold. Exhale. Hold. Inhale. Hold. Exhale. Hold. Inhale. Hold. Exhale. Hold. Inhale. Hold. Exhale. Right. 4 sets. Now, I want you to tell me how you're feeling. What feeling are you having? Tell me how you're feeling. After doing that activity, how does your head feel? How do you feel? Hey, Chanora Green, how are you? All right. If you just did the activity, I want you to tell me. Come on, guys, interact with me. Tell me how you're feeling. Just say, if nothing, just say nothing. Tell me how you're feeling. Maheka, did you do it? Yvonne, Joan, Christine, Brian. All right, Nifty said felt relaxed. Okay. Joan says nothing. Okay. Anybody else? Anne-Marie's English says lightheaded. I know you did it. I know you did it. Anybody else feel lightheaded? Anybody else feel relaxed? Because some, and I know some of you may have done it but didn't do it properly. I know Anne-Marie English did it properly because that is one of the experience that you're supposed to have. You're supposed to feel lightheaded. Calligraphy says, okay, I felt lightheaded too. You did it properly. Kathy says, feeling like blood flowing through my head. You did it properly. Anybody else? So if you're feeling relaxed, you did it properly. If you're feeling lightheaded, you did it properly. If you feel like blood is flowing through your head, you did it properly. Because even right now, I'm feeling blood flow in my hands. Bushpot says, I'm feeling a relaxing and lightheaded, like fainting feeling. You did it properly. What you are feeling is the body's production of nitric oxide. What you're feeling is the medicine. That medicine that you're feeling is nitric oxide. And if I'm feeling relaxing and who is this? Burner joint. So if that's what you're feeling, then you did it properly. I felt a little lightheaded, but I thought it was because I'm hungry. I haven't had lunch yet. So Nifty, yes. So that feeling that you're having, that is nitric oxide. That is nitric oxide. Now, so you're supposed to take a deep breath in, hold, take a deep breath out, hold, take a deep breath again through your nostril. Now, yeah man, I feel lightheaded and blood flow in my head top. What is this? Wild electric food and herbs. If you're feeling that, what you're feeling is nitric oxide. And that is the body's a gas that the body naturally produces. By the way, nitric oxide is also a cleanser. So for harmful bacteria, remember, harmful bacteria thrive in an anaerobic environment. So even for persons who have cancer, what you just did is ideal for persons who have cancer. Because what happens is that when the cells and the organs are not getting blood flow or oxygen, there is what is called anaerobic respiration. So it creates an environment for the proliferation of harmful bacteria. So cancer is the result of harmful bacteria proliferating in cells of the body or organs of the body. The exercise that you just did, what you just did is that you just invaded that part of the body with oxygen. So what you're feeling, that lightheadedness that you're feeling, is the result of oxygen going to the brain. And so what you just did is that you just dealt a lethal blow. You just infused a lethal blow of oxygen to the cells of the body. Nifty says, I do this kind of breathing to help me calm down when I feel overwhelmed. Also, not only that, Nifty, but if you're having a headache, people won't think you're a witch doctor or you're a man. What I just shared with you, if there is somebody that is having a headache, by just doing what I shared with you a while ago, by just increasing the oxygen production, the headache most times will be abated. All right? By just doing that. Now, I recommend this activity every day. In the morning, you just get up. I remember a lady came to me from Kingston. Listen to this now. Her husband traveled with her all the way from St. Thomas, all the way to St. Thomas. Dr. Ben and listeners, good afternoon. Oh, good afternoon, Charmaine. Yvonne Joy says, I use exercise to lower my blood pressure when it gets very high. Okay, thank you very much, Yvonne. Yvonne says, I use this exercise to lower my blood pressure when it gets very high. So this is somebody who is testifying. Now, maybe you didn't know how or why it does that. I'm going to repeat it. Maybe you don't know why. So Yvonne says, I use this method to reduce my high blood pressure, but maybe the person who told you what to do didn't tell you why it lowered your blood pressure. Now, I'm not a person. I like to tell people why they do things, because I believe that most people are more likely to be consistent with something that works when they know how it works. There are some people who will do it because it works without knowing why it works, because they get the benefit of it working. But I like to tell persons why it works. Because, and from doing it, I realize more people tend to be more consistent because they understand what is happening. Berna says, I'm from Montego Bay. I sent my daughter to you once and she got better. Okay, wonderful, Berna. So, here is it again, Charmaine. So, you breathe in through the nostrils. So, hold. Then you exhale through the mouth. Hold. Then inhale again. Hold. Exhale through the mouth. Hold. And you do that. So it's a cycle that you do. And what it does is that you are increasing the nitric oxide in your body. So if you have cancer, you are oxygenating the cells. If you have diabetes, poor circulation, you are oxygenating your cells. If you have hypertension, you are oxygenating your cells. Yvonne says that my blood pressure was 200 over 120. You need to tell us what it was. What has it been reduced since you've done that? Our blood pressure was 200 over 120. This is not, no. So she's been doing this before she was exposed to the technique. No. But her blood pressure was 200 over 120. Since you've been doing it, what has your blood pressure been reduced to? And this is nitric oxide production. Now, this is in addition to the teas that we mentioned. This is in addition to the foods that we mentioned. And the goal is to reverse the aging process and to reverse the disease process. And she says that her blood pressure has been reduced to 140/80. Beautiful. Still need to come down a little more, but beautiful. 140/80. So she used this procedure, this technique, without, and there are a number of persons. You'll be amazed the amount of persons who know about it. Danvers Atkinson says, where is, in Florida, is the center located? I'll give you the number. I'll give you the number. Let me see if I can find. Let me give you the number for the person in Florida that you can connect with. So this is the person in, if you are in, this is the person in New York. Kathy, could you copy that number for me, please? And the name and number, and just paste it in the TikTok. The name and number for the person in New York. That's the name for a number for the person in New York. If you want to get into one of our centers, our satellite centers in New York, if you're anywhere in the New York area, as I said, I am the one who asked about the Butcher's Broom Road. Okay, Berna. Oh, you're on TikTok too. Okay. That is the number. I'm going to put the number for our person in Florida in a little while, but that's the number. It's scrolling on our page on YouTube. So it's 347-475-5703. That's our center in New York, in Bronx, New York. It's a person to connect with. His name is Christopher Barrett. In Florida, it is Sean. That's his website, and his number is 305-497-6097. So that's a person in Florida. And I think I gave you the number for the person in Kingston. These are all persons who I'm training, by the way. And we have a working relationship that we do offer training. My training programs are designed to be threefold. So if you would like to become what is called a practitioner, what I call indigenous Caribbean medicine, we have a course, and the course is offered in 3 ways. So one is through our website, and that's Florida. So that's our telephone number for Florida. The first one is for New York. That's 347-475-5703. That's Christopher Barrett. And then our center in Florida is Sean Lennon. It's 305-497-6097. And what we do is that in these centers, if you go there, they will put you on a machine that I can stay here from in Jamaica and operate, and I can read. And from that, I'm able to see exactly what's wrong with you. If you're having cardiovascular issues, digestive issues, liver issues, kidney issues, gynecological issues, urinary tract issues, doesn't matter what it is. We also have an office in Morant Bay. So if you know of anybody in Morant Bay, we have an office in Morant Bay, an office in Portland. And we're soon opening an office in Montego Bay. So what we do is that we have students who we train, and then the students, while they're learning, they work as centers. I do have Brian. Oh, I should say Brian is on. Brian, could you tell me where you are from? Where in the States are you? Brian has a machine as well. Charmaine, Charmaine is asking, Dr. Will you consider doing a session in Toronto, Canada? I definitely would. I would, because we have a lot of persons in Canada. I have Brian on. Brian, are you still on? Brian? I have a student here. Brian is on, and Brian is in another state outside of Florida and outside of New York, and so he can offer telemedicine services as well. These are all persons that you can go to them, and I can see you here in Jamaica, and then we can connect you with what you need. All right, so we'll be talking about nitric oxide and the power of nitric oxide, and so we've talked about foods that you can eat that can. Anne Marie says eye issues. Also if you go to our YouTube channel, Anne Marie English, go to our YouTube channel. In the description of this video that we're doing, there are two links. So there's the link to this product. Let me show you. So there are two links, and this is a product that is very powerful as it relates to nitric oxide. It contains resveratrol, which is also a very powerful ingredient for cardiovascular issues. So there's a link if you would love to get one of these products. It's what is called Heartbeat, and it is high in resveratrol, which is found in pine, and it helps so many persons with cardiovascular issues. It's on our website at ICM Wellness Marketplace.net, ICMWellnessMarketplace.net. But in order to find it easily, you can find it on our website. If you go to our YouTube channel, which is the presentation of this video, click in the description. You'll see two links. You'll see one link that you can book a consultation, because we do offer consultation. So you can go there and book a 15-minute consultation, or you can also get this product as well. So if you want, if you can talk a little about prostate. Yeah, what would you want me to talk about? I mean, this show is not for prostate, but I will talk about prostate. I am going to do a show on prostate as well. But talk a lot about prostate. And usually when I talk about prostate health with along with fibroids, because they are linked. We do talk about them together. But a lot of men have enlarged prostate, which is a condition in which the outer cells or the outer cell wall of the prostate begins to enlarge. This is due to an increase in what we call estrogen or estrogen mimic compounds. So certain foods that are high in estrogen mimic compounds are certain skincare products. And are even just by aging, because when a man ages, when he's young, he has lots of testosterone. But as he ages, his testosterone level decreases and his estrogen level increases. And so this causes the prostate to get enlarged. And so when this takes place, then the prostate puts pressure on the urethra. And so the person can't pass his urine as he should. We do have, I don't just like to talk about products. I like to talk about the understanding what causes the problem. Because I believe when you understand the problem, you know how to manipulate, how to fix it, right? And then I'll talk about the natural. But I'm not here to sell products. I'm here to sell results. Like herbs of, all right, so herbs that are good for the prostate are herbs that are high in zinc. So pumpkin seed is very good for the prostate. Herbs like saw palmetto, which is high in zinc. So zinc-rich foods is what you want. And you want to stay away from foods that are high in estrogen. So we'll talk about the chicken, because the chicken, the problem, it is how the chicken is reared. That's the problem. So if it is that you have chicken that you grow yourself, and that's not the problem. But when you eat chicken that are fed commercial feeding, because the feeding contains hormones that are growth hormones, and that gets passed on into the chicken. And so when you eat the chicken, you're a secondary consumer of growth hormones, and that growth hormone is going to affect your prostate. You also want to steer away from foods that are soy-based foods. So you want to stay away from soy-based food because soy-based foods are high in estrogen, which is what you don't want. Estrogen is a growth hormone. Even though it's a plant-based growth hormone, it will cause the prostate to be enlarged. So you want to stay away from those foods, and you want to eat foods that are rich in high in zinc. All right, so I did my 2 hours. So 2 hours was what I carved out of my schedule today to do this presentation. I hope that you enjoyed it. I hope that you benefited from it. As I said, if you want to reach out to me, I do have satellite centers that I can. It's not a consultation. Dr. Ben, I just want to go back to ginkgo for a bit. You said a Jamaican farmer was weeding ginkgo from his land. Is that ginkgo the same as a ginkgo? Yeah. No, not the ginkgo tree. Ginkgo isn't a tree. It's a shrub. It's a small plant. Right? Ginkgo biloba is a small shrub. Just for acid reflux. Unique Digital's asking, what natural remedies do you suggest for acid reflux? Or GERD? No. The word GERD is used very loosely. Right? GERD, which is gastroesophageal reflux disorder, is a condition in which the valve, so there's a valve that prevents the backflow of acid into the stomach. Right? That valve is damaged. And so when that valve is damaged, what happens is that acids backflow, acids will flow back up into the stomach, causing burning, which is why sometimes you have to lie propped up with a pillow or something, because once you get flat, then the acid just comes up. Right? Now, GERD is when that muscle, that sphincter muscle, is damaged. That is different from stomach acidity. Right? Nifty says, I was diagnosed with that after doing an endoscopy. Yeah. So something like that can cause it. Endoscopy, it can get damaged. Now, so first of all, you want to know if you have GERD or if it's stomach acidity, because it's two different things, not necessarily the same. Even though when you have GERD, you will have stomach acidity because the valve is damaged and the acid is coming up. So the stomach acidity is caused from GERD, but you can also have stomach acidity, which is not the result of GERD, which is the damage of the sphincter muscle. No. What's the difference? So stomach acidity can be the result of other factors. So for example, not chewing your food properly. Right? If you're not chewing your food properly, you can have stomach acidity. If you're eating and drinking at the same time, you can have stomach acidity. If you're what's the name of the enzyme now? If you're eating too much meat and your pepsin, which is an enzyme that the stomach secretes to digest protein, if it is that you don't have enough pepsin secretion to handle the amount of meat that you're eating, you can have stomach acidity. So it's still stomach acidity, but it's not the result of GERD, which is a damaged muscle causing the acid to come up, which causes the acidity. It's important to know that because understanding the problem will help you to know how to fix the problem. Because with GERD, you're going to have a treatment protocol that deals with the stomach acidity, but also helps the valve, and sometimes the valve can't be helped. So sometimes you have to resort to a protocol of managing the problem. Right? You may not be able to reverse it, but you can manage it. So it's important for you to understand the problem, because there are times when you have to manage and there are times when you can reverse. But stomach acidity can be reversed, because stomach acidity, all that needs to happen is that the stomach needs to be brought back to an alkaline state. So if it's not caused by GERD, and if you're having stomach acidity, what you need to do then is to bring the stomach to an alkaline state. Now, to do that, there are a number of ways that you can do that. All right? So one way that you can do that is by introducing alkalizing agents. All right? Agents that alkalizes the stomach. So one very simple alkalizing agent is aluminum-free baking soda. So you can get some aluminum baking soda, 1 teaspoonful to 1 glass, 8-ounce glass of water. Drink that every other day for 1 week. And that can alkalize the stomach. While you're doing that, you would need to avoid acidic foods like peppery foods, spicy foods. You would need to also stop eating and drinking at the same time. Or if it is that you have a dental issues, because what can cause a problem too is that some people have dental issues that cause them to eat on one side of their mouth. So the food is not properly being chewed. And so because the particles are being swallowed too large, fermentation takes place before digestion takes place, which is what causes acidity. Calligraphy says, I'm supposed to take a pill 15 minutes before a meal. Now, there's also foods that you can eat like papaya. Papaya have a compound called papain, or you can go to the pharmacy, you can get what is called papaya enzymes, or you can get green papaya, boil it, peel it, boil it, and drink the water. That papaya enzyme helps the stomach as well. Or you can use, for some people, not for everybody, for some people they can use pineapple. So you can ingest that before the meal, and it will help with the stomach acidity. All right? And what you want to do is you want to resort to a more alkaline diet and cut down off the acidic foods, and stuff like oranges, citrus products. You want to avoid those. Stuff that are acidic, you want to avoid those. And what that will do is that it will help the stomach to heal. You also want to get what is called mucilaginous herbs. So herbs like slippery elm or West Indian elm. A herb that is very good for healing the stomach is a herb called matico. Dr. Semi calls it cardancilla negro, or that helps. It helps to heal the stomach. And we have it in a compound called neodigestive. As I said, if you reach out to me, we also have products that help with stomach acidity and that helps to manage GERD. All right? So if you go to my a bit late but wonderful info from what I've caught. Oh, wonderful. Thank you, Licia. So so matico or cardancilla negro is a herb that grows wild here in Jamaica and it helps to heal the walls of the stomach. But what you also want is what we call mucilaginous plants, because what happens sometimes, the acid, whether from the GERD or the stomach acidity, damages the walls of the stomach. And so a healthy stomach is covered by mucilage. A healthy stomach is covered by slime. And that slime protects the wall of the stomach and from the acid. And so what you want is you want to get tuna, this is mucilaginous, slippery elm, West Indian elm, which is mucilaginous, aloe vera, which is mucilaginous. So you can get the aloe vera gel, you can blend it and drink it. That slime protects the wall of the stomach. So while the stomach is being healed from the matico, it is being protected from the acid. Because while we're healing the stomach wall, we have to also protect it. Because you can't heal it if it is being exposed constantly to acid. Also, when you get hungry, good to know, I don't like taking pills, so I don't, but the natural been drawing to pineapple juice for years now. Good. So the trick is, and that's why I said it's very important for you to understand what is happening. So when the stomach wall doesn't have enough slime or mucilage on it, then the acid attacks the walls. That's why you have the burning. And if the walls is damaged enough, it can even cause bleeding. When it starts to bleed, that's when the walls are seriously damaged. So burning is bad, but it can get worse. It can go to bleeding. All right? So what you want is you want something mucilaginous to protect the walls, but protecting it is only a type of management. So when you go to your doctor, they will give you Pepto-Bismol, or they'll give you, which is alkalizing. They'll give you something that is alkalizing or something that is mucilaginous, manage. But what you want to do is also heal. So in order to heal it, what you want is one of the best herbs I know, and there's also pectin. The best herb I know is a herb called matico, and we have fused those herbs in a compound that we give to persons that helps to heal the stomach from stomach acidity. But as I said, you want to go to your doctor, you want to talk to your healthcare provider. Calligraphy says, what? Boy, Dr. Ben, sounds like I have to just come spend a few months with you in Jamaica. And that's the reason why we want to, by the way, that's the reason why we want to set up our retreat facility. We used to have a retreat facility where persons could come and stay, and we could help them to get better and teach them. Because, as I said, it's not about just helping somebody, it's about teaching them. The way the greatest weapon against sickness and disease is education, not medication. And that's why I said one of my goal also is not to just do what I do, but it is also to see persons being trained. So we used to have retreat. We're working on a retreat facility right now. Hopefully we get through with it. And because we used to have a facility, we used to have a very large facility, but because of COVID, we had to move away from that facility. And I want to get back a facility where persons used to come, and we used to video. We used to video the whole process. You know, when persons come sick, we video them when they come sick. Video some of the healing, the therapies that we do, and video them after the period. And so, you know, we have a series on our site. It's on our website, which is ICM TV. There's a series that we call the Wellness Report. The Wellness Report. And Unique Digital says, okay, can I contact you? You can contact me. Very important, because I've shared so much without sharing how you can contact me. This is how you can contact me. I'm going to ask Kathy again, 164. Kathy, could you copy that number from our YouTube? It's 309-4783, 876-309-4783. And that is our website, icmwellnessmarketplace.net. That's how you can contact me. That's a number for my office, not me. Because what happens sometimes is I get overwhelmed with phone calls. You can imagine just the time I'm here, how much time my phone has been ringing. Ringing. So let me know if you'd want me to do this every Saturday. I would love to come on and do this every Saturday. This program is called The Natural Alternative. And we do a show on Sunday as well. Training to help me and to help others. Sounds good, bro, too. Very good. We do another show on Sunday. So tomorrow at 3 o'clock, we have a video that comes out at 3. And then we have a live at 7 or 8 o'clock, sorry. That program now is designed. Sundays on our YouTube channel. So it's, the number is 876-309-4783. That's 309-4783. And of course, the area code is 876. That's my office number. You may call and not get anybody now because it's not office hour. We're closed today. But if you call during office hours, then you'll get my information and Anne-Marie English. Good. And then we have our website. If you go to our YouTube channel and go to the description of this video, in the description, there's a link where you can book consultation. You know, because, you know, when you do what I do, I talk to hundreds of persons per day. And sometimes you talk until you feel tired. So sometimes I'm tired to talk. So I like to use these platforms. I also do a show on Wednesdays at 8 o'clock with a friend of mine, Rattigan, Reason with Rattigan, Come Reason with Rattigan, where I share a lot of information. So because I'm doing a lot of these, I decided not to put my personal number out there to give me more time. You know, and still I'm on the phone a lot talking with persons or doing a lot of consultations. So when this is the best way to get me. If you call and don't get a mess, just leave a message. This is my nurse Ray. Believe me, she will ensure that I get the message. She will either copy it, send it to me, and not only that, she finds out if I have followed up with these persons. So the best way to get to me is on this number, because my nurse, once you call her or once you leave a message, my nurse, big up yourself, nurse Ray, she follows up with me, because when if I give you my number and you call me and get me, there's a very high chance that I won't get the chance to talk to you because I'm doing so many things. But once you get through on this number, and it's on WhatsApp, Nursery will ensure that I get your message, that I follow up with you. Apologize for persons who I'm supposed to ship products to. I'm moving away from handling all shipping. Don't let me tell you I'm going to send anything to you. Don't let me tell you I'm going to send anything to you. If I don't say Nursery or somebody, you're not going to get it, because I tend to forget. So what I'm doing is, as we grow as a family, as we grow, I have to realize that things that I used to do and could do, I just cannot do it anymore. So I have to delegate. And it's taking me some time to adjust to the reality that I have to delegate. I want to big up Kathy. I don't know if I know you, Kathy, but I want to big you up, because what you did for me today is, I can't describe it. Just being on and just helping me the way that you have helped me. I need more persons like that, because I cannot do everything, and I'm just learning that the hard way. So for persons who I have to talk to, for persons who I have to get products to, please ensure that I get you on to Nursery or some other member of our team, or my daughter, some other member of our team. That is the most sure way that you are going to get it. It doesn't mean that I don't want to, doesn't mean that I'm unreliable. It's just that when I finish talking to you and my phone ring and I engage with the next person, I forget all that I said to the person before, because of how my schedule is structured. So I have to build a strategy, build a system that can compensate for that. And that is to really get teammates who can help me. So again, guys, I want to thank you. I hope that you learned a lot. I hope that this has been edifying, uplifting, and beneficial to you. I hope that I've shared enough that would have helped you or would have helped somebody. My goal, myself and my wife, our vision is to help persons to become better versions of themselves. And, this platform helps me to do just that. So I want to thank you for being on. Let me know if you'd want me to do this every Saturday. I really enjoyed it. And look out for our videos. Again, if you can boost your nitric oxide production is by our Res Veramax Fix 50%. This product helps tremendously, and it's on our website. You can go there and you can get it. So again, thank you for being on. If you haven't subscribed, please subscribe, please share, and I hope to see you guys next week, Saturday. Thank you very much for being on, and I hope that you were richly blessed. Again, bye-bye. I don't even know how to turn off this thing called TikTok. All right.